none, I would ask the Minister of Transportation to present his response to the throne speech.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the 808th member of this Assembly, far from number one, I thank you for the opportunity to rise today and honor the tradition of new members delivering their maiden speech. It's especially nice to do this on the 6th month of the anniversary when I became the MLA for Calgary-Hayes as part of a strong, stable majority PC government. I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate the Speaker on becoming the 12th, I believe, Speaker of the Assembly, and his place in history of our great province is well earned after 19 years serving in the Legislature, and I'm sure he will distinguish himself as an unbiased and wise referee in the years to come, something his hockey official training has no doubt prepared him for. By way of introducing myself to the House, I would have you know that I became an Albertan at 9 p.m. on July 26, 1981, when the plane I was on landed in Calgary. I am proud to say that I chose Alberta, and my employer of the day granted my request to relocate. I'm also proud to have grown up in Woodstock, Ontario, as the fifth of 7 children in a working-class home, the son of a welder and an office worker. The endeavours of my parents would have fit quite nicely in the Alberta economy of that day and today as well. In fact, my parents still inspire me today. I can assure you that, Madam Speaker, if I have any success debating issues in this House, it's in large measure to the best and most basic training in debate and negotiation received while living in a household of 9 people with only 1.5 bathrooms. Both my parents and all 4 of my sisters still live in Woodstock. The 3 brothers McIver have all lived in Alberta at some point. My older brothers in Petawawa, Ontario today, and my younger brother in Red Deer, Alberta. I'm blessed today to be married to my beautiful and inspiring wife, Christine, who makes me smile. And who is the founder and chief executive officer of the Kids Cancer Care Foundation of Alberta. Between us, we have 4 children, all in Calgary. We're also blessed to have 2 grandchildren, Quinn and Xander, who quite simply remind us why it's so important to leave the province and the world in better condition than we found it. Politically, Mr. Speaker, I will lay claim to being determined and persistent. My first inspiration to serve publicly came from the father of a high school friend, a fellow named Bill Allen, operated a lumber yard in Woodstock and served as mayor there for several years. During the teenage years when I was hanging out with his son and a lot more interested in serving myself than helping others, he shared some of his inspirations for and experiences in public service. And despite my efforts to ignore the positive message, some of it seemed to stick. Back in '98, I first ran for the position of alderman in the city of Calgary, where my dreams were crushed in a sound thrashing at the hands of the inimitable Sue Higgins, who today remains a legend of Calgary City Hall. This was followed by another loss and a by-election, and finally in 2001, thanks largely in part to the retirement of Ms. Higgins, leaving an empty seat on City Council, I finally got elected. The next 9 years were filled with terrific opportunity, one after another, to serve Calgarians by both supporting and bringing forward positive changes and, in turn, fighting off proposals not in the public interest. During this time, I had many chances to interact with the Alberta government. I was able to work, interestingly enough, with Alberta Transportation to coordinate the construction of interchanges on the Deerfoot Trail, where traffic signals had been the bane of the existence of thousands of citizens for years. Today, of course, the Deerfoot's ready for more improvements. For 8 years, I served on the board of the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association, working with many ministries on legislative improvements, as well as funding programs culminating in the Municipal Sustainability Initiative, which stands today as the very highest standard of infrastructure funding for municipalities across Canada. I'm so pleased that our Premier has committed to extending this program, giving municipalities more certainty in their funding plans. I've also had the privilege during that time of serving the Calgary Police Commission for 2 years and chairing the Calgary Housing Company for 3 years, which, interestingly enough, is the largest landlord in the city of Calgary, at that time serving well over 25,000 people. I was also fortunate to serve on the Metropolitan Calgary Foundation, providing housing for seniors, chairing the Community Protective Services Committee, overseeing emergency services, and leading the Family and Community Social Services Committee. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, please forgive. The greatest gift I have received from public life is that I've been required to decide what I believe. Through being asked to explain over and over again into a media microphone what's important and then to live with that record and defend it, something great happens. A set of firm beliefs develops. This guides my thoughts and words and actions and gives me at least a chance to succeed in public service. Madam Speaker, I don't want to miss this chance to thank the people of Calgary Hayes for the absolute honour of representing their interests in this legislature. Members may know that Calgary Hayes consists of the communities of Quarry Park, Mackenzie Town, Mackenzie Lake, and Douglas Dale Glen. The riding is bordered on the west by the Bow River, on the south by the 22X, on the east by 52nd Street, and on the north by the community of Riverbend. I had the opportunity in my past political life to have an impact on the planning and development of this riding, and look forward to working with both my municipal and federal counterparts in securing the infrastructure and legislative needs of the area, including recreation facilities, the LRT, improvements to the Deerfoot Trail, completing the Ring Road, and the full opening of the South Calgary Health Campus. I would like also in this Assembly to express my gratitude to the Premier for her confidence in asking me to serve as her Minister of Transportation. While I have much more to learn than I know today, I understand the importance of the portfolio. Transportation is a cornerstone of our economy and our quality of life as Albertans. Transportation is our link to the rest of the world and our very lifeline. Only with a strong transportation network can we secure the future of our children and grandchildren. The entire province needs to be listened to and worked for in this portfolio. Many projects, which are not in the headlines of the media, are nonetheless urgent to Albertans across this province. I recognize the need to listen twice and speak once to Albertans. Madam Speaker, I pledged a few short months ago to carry out these duties to the best of my abilities. I shall remember that promise. With the support of our Premier and this government, we have already committed to completing Highway 63 from Highway 55 to Fort McMurray. And I say we because nobody does this alone. We have put in place important infrastructure in Sylvan Lake, Medicine Hat, Cochrane, and Diamond City, amongst other places. We have in place commitments to complete 100% of the Edmonton Ring Road and 70% of the Calgary Ring Road, with more to follow. In short, Madam Speaker, this government is listening to Albertans and acting on their priorities from north to south and east to west. I'm very excited about the future of Alberta. God has blessed our province with resources, agriculture, great people, and terrific neighbours. It's now our duty to manage those blessings wisely. I look forward to working with all members of this House and all Albertans to create together a future where we can truly say 4 years from now, and then indeed 40 years from now, we left it better than we found it.